Thank you so much for joining us today at Everyday Yoga. My name is Christine. My pronouns are she and her, and we are recording a live Zoom class. We are focusing today on relieving our back pain, and we are also focusing on changing our energy. I'm sure you have all noticed when you're around somebody who has a lot of negative energy, you don't have to see their face, they don't have to say a word before you know that this person is in a bad mood. Or when you meet somebody who just exudes lots of positive energy, you just want to be around them and get to know them better. And we have the power in our bodies, minds, spirits, and in our own energy to change our energy. And it is from that place of positive energy that we can change our lives. So that being said, let's go ahead and start in supported bridge. I've got a yoga block here. If you don't have a yoga block, you could use a thick book that maybe you lay a towel or a blanket over so that it's not too hard. Or you could fold up a thick blanket or towel so that it's about this wide and this thick. Just go ahead and come on down to your back. Knees pointed up at the sky. The feet planted on the earth. And we're going to press into the feet and lift the hips up just enough to tuck this block right underneath the low back. So the top of the block here, we don't want it right on the tailbone. We don't want any pressure there. But we want the top of the block to be just about where a belt would be. If I was wearing pants that required a belt, which I haven't done in almost 2 years now, so that's pretty awesome. And we're just going to settle in here. If you want a little bit more sensation, you can change the block height to its medium position to really lift the hips and open the hip flexors and get into the low back here. So whatever is more comfortable for you and feels the best. So fiddle around with it a little bit until you get it in just the right space, just the right height. And then we're going to take the feet out as wide as the mat. And we're just going to let the knees kind of gently fall in toward one another so that they support each other here. Press those triceps into the earth just enough to lift the heart up off the mat and kind of snuggle those shoulder blades in towards one another. And then just lift the head just enough to tuck the chin so that the neck is nice and long and safe here. Your hands can be out to the sides, palms up or down, way out to the side in a T shape, or maybe just alongside the hips, or they can be resting on the belly. And we're just going to take a few minutes here to connect with the breath. Feeling the body, noticing the breath. Feeling the energy flow within the body are some of our best tools for being in the present moment, taking us out of the suffering of regret from the past, anxiety for the future, keeping us anchored right here, right now. And even if you're present, your working situation, your relationship, whatever is going on in your life, that's not even what I'm talking about, because that's not your current state. Your current state, your very present moment, right here, right now, is your practicing with a group of like-minded individuals, practicing yoga, laying on your mat, nowhere to go, nothing to do, but breathe and take care of yourself. This is our present moment. This is where we want to be right here, right now. So either with the hands on the belly or alongside you somewhere on the mat or the floor next to you, just notice the breath. You might choose to notice the rise and fall of the belly as you inhale and exhale. You might choose to focus on the sensation of the air flow in and out of the nose with every breath. Noticing the temperature of the air, noticing the subtle little tickle at the end of your nostrils. You might mentally use your mind's eye to trace the path of the air from the nostrils down through the throat, into the lungs, expanding in the belly, and then flowing back up from the belly, through the lungs, the throat, and back out through the nose. And if you can't breathe through the nose because you're stuffy or you've got allergies or whatever, you can breathe through the mouth, but it's really encouraged to breathe through the nose when you can, because our nose is our built-in filtration device for toxins and viruses and germs and particles that might be flowing in the air. We've got all these little millions of tiny cilia, these little hairs, and the mucus that's in there. It's all designed to clean the air for us. So whenever possible, breathe in and out of the nose. And we're just going to do a little box breathing today. So we've done box breathing before, where you inhale for the count of 4. You hold it for the count of 4. You exhale for the count of 4. And you guessed it, you hold the exhale for a count of 4. So you're basically making a box with the breath. But instead of having that rigid box shape to the breath, let's make it a little bit softer, a little bit gentler, a little bit smoother. And to each their own, how many counts you would like it to be for. So maybe you want to think about just inhaling for 3, holding for 3, exhaling for 3, holding for 3. Or you might want to inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 4, hold for 2. Just play with the breath a little bit and see what feels good to you. Just kind of this soft box, more of a circle. Maybe even visualizing as you inhale that you're inhaling down through the front of the body. And as you exhale, you're exhaling up the back body. Just nice and around, holding at the top, holding at the bottom. Nice cyclical movement that you can sustain, that is soft and slow and deep and nourishing to your body. So just with that in mind, take 3 more full rounds of this soft box breath, whatever that is for you today. As you notice the ground beneath you, your feet touching the earth, the back of your head, your back body, your hips lifted up onto your support if you're using one, your hands, just taking a mental inventory of where you are right here, right now. And once you've found those 3 full breaths, let's go ahead and bring the feet to parallel. Press into the feet, lift the hips up off your support and move it aside. And then bring the entire back body to rest on the earth. And then draw one knee and then the other in towards the heart. And just rock a little gently from side to side. Continue to keep that focus on the breath, nice and soft. You can let go of the counting, but just continue to come back to that same sort of flowing, circular, soft box breath. And as you do that, take your palms over your kneecaps. Inhale here, straighten the arms, letting the knees come away from the heart. And then exhale, bending the elbows and drawing the knees in towards the collarbones. Inhale, letting the knees come away. Exhale, draw them in towards the heart. And just keep moving back and forth with the breath. You may even want to inhale and hold the knees away. Exhale and hold the knees in, just as you're moving with the breath here. And then we can take the knees in circles, but instead of circling them together, we're going to circle them separately. So we're going to inhale the knees away from the body and then draw the knees away from one another out to either side. And then exhale, draw them up towards the armpits and in towards one another closer to the heart. Inhale away and open. Exhale, draw in and close. Just these 2 independent circles. Noticing how you feel in the low back. Maybe paying some special attention to any areas that are asking for it. Maybe pausing there. And once you finish a full circle and you've drawn those knees back in towards the heart, reverse the circles so that you're inhaling the knees away and down, exhaling them in and up. Just continuing your circles. They can be as small as you like, as subtle, or they can be as wide as feels good to you. Let your body be your guide and your partner here, telling you what it needs in order to take good care of you. And then let's go ahead and hug that right knee or left knee in and bring the sole of the right foot down to the earth. Let's rotate that left ankle in one direction and then the other. Maybe point and flex the toe a little bit. And then let's rotate that left knee out towards the side and bring the outside of the left ankle to the top of the right thigh. And we're just going to stay here for a moment before we go any deeper. And just notice where your hips are. See if you can get your hips to be level here. Rather than kind of dipping over to the left, really be mindful of the hips and try to keep them level for a moment here. Maybe take the heel of the left hand and press into that left thigh, pressing it away from you, maybe giving it a little bit of a massage here, opening up through that hip flexor. And then if you do want to go a little bit deeper, we can inhale here, and then as you exhale, use that exhale to draw the right knee up lift the shoulders, lift the head if you need to, and then wrap those arms through that hole between the thighs, interlacing the hands behind the right thigh. Drawing both legs in towards the heart. If this is a strain on the knees, you can flex the feet to engage the tendons and ligaments around the knees to keep them nice and stable here. And you can draw those legs in as close as feels comfortable for you. You can relax the feet if it's okay for your knees. Just notice what you feel in that left hip. Maybe inhaling that right thigh away from you and then exhaling to draw it in closer. Back and forth. And if you're wanting to go even deeper, you can interlace those fingers around the front of the shin, bringing the shoulders and the head back down to the mat. And if that doesn't happen comfortably, just come back to clasping around the thigh. And really notice what you feel in the left hip, wherever you are. Take 2 more breaths here, maybe coming back to your soft box breath. And then we're going to keep the legs where they are, release the hands, and spread the arms out wide, perpendicular to the body in a kind of a T shape here. Palms can be up or down, whatever feels best in your shoulders. And we're just going to go ahead and take that left foot over to the right side, dropping down onto the earth or onto your support that you were using for our supported bridge if the feet and knees don't comfortably come over all the way. But you might be in a place where your right thigh is kind of resting on the outside of the left ankle here, sort of anchoring the legs over to the side. And you can take your gaze out over the left palm if you like, really getting into this twist. Gently beginning to open up the low back. Noticing any areas of tension that you have where you can send that breath. So imagine if you've got a knot somewhere, that it is a balloon. And as you inhale, you're filling up that balloon, expanding it. And as you exhale, you're just draining away all the tension, letting it go. One more breath here. And then we'll release that left leg to stack right on top of the right leg. And then inhale both knees back up to center. Giving yourself a little hug and maybe inviting the nose towards the knees so that you can realign the hips and the spine and the neck. And then we'll hug the right knee in and bring the sole of the left foot down to the mat. And we'll rotate that right ankle in one direction and then the other, and we'll point and flex the foot. And then we'll turn the right knee out, bringing the right ankle to the top of the left thigh this time. Noticing the hips again. Did that right hip dip down? No judgment, it's totally our tendency to do that. But what if you use your mind and your body to engage the core to keep the hips level for a moment here? And then press that right thigh away with the palm of the right hand. Maybe getting into the muscle here with a little bit of massage. And either staying here or going a little bit deeper by threading that right arm through the space between the thighs, clasping the hands behind the left thigh, and bringing the shoulders and the head back down towards the mat or onto the mat. And hugging both legs in towards the heart. Again, you can kind of stay here and let it be really static and hold on to it and breathe and let it be very yin here. Or you can rock a little bit back and forth. Or you can inhale, letting that left leg come away, and exhale, drawing it in. Keep the chin tucked gently so that the neck is nice and safe. Notice what you feel in the back body. Notice what you feel in that right hip. If you want to go deeper, you can lift the shoulders and head enough to reach the fingers around the front of the shin, and then bring the upper body back down to the mat. And notice how that changes the sensation here in the right leg. Moving with the breath or staying here in stillness. 2 more breaths right here. And then when you're ready, we're gonna spread those arms out nice and wide into your T shape, and go ahead and bring the sole of the right foot over to the left, letting it rest on the floor or to a block or a pillow or blanket or whatever support you have handy. And then you can just relax that right leg down and kind of let that left knee sort of anchor it down to the earth. And notice how that feels here today. Really getting into the hips is really supportive for the back. We actually only have 2 muscles. Gosh, I shouldn't have brought that up because now I can't remember the name of the muscle. Is it the iliopsoas? Something like that. But it actually connects the lower half of the body to the upper half of the body. Just these 2 muscles, one on each side. And so our legs and our hips are very much connected to our backs. And so releasing some of the tension in the hips can help support the back body. We'll take 2 more breaths here, wherever you are, in whatever version of this pose is comfortable for you and feels good to you. And then we'll take that right leg and stack it on top of the left. Inhale, both knees up to center. Hug those knees in again, realigning hips and spine and neck, maybe inviting the nose up to the knees. And then we're gonna take the hands behind the thighs and just rock up and down the spine a little bit. Maybe noticing some snap, crackle, pops here. Maybe coming really all the way up into the shoulders. Letting the body go as far as feels good to you. And then we're gonna come up to a seat. So we're gonna continue on with this hip movement here. My feet are out in front of me, and you don't have to change positions. I'm just changing so you can see what I'm doing. My hands are behind me here. My fingers are pointing behind me, but you can have your fingers pointing out to the sides or back towards the hips, whatever feels best in your arms and your shoulders today. And we're gonna just kind of take the feet a little wide and just windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Maybe bringing the knees all the way down to the earth. Maybe keeping it subtle. Maybe it's not raining too much where you are, so you don't need to have the windshield wipers on all the way. And again, we're going to go ahead and take that left ankle to the top of the right knee. And you can send the leg out farther or use your hand to help bring it in. And you can kind of bring those hands in a little bit, maybe scrunch that right foot in a little, maybe lift the hips so you can get a little closer and really draw that left leg in as close as you can while still maintaining sensation without pain. So we're here in that same figure 4 that we were doing supine, laying on our backs, but now we're doing it seated. Just breathe here and maybe rock that leg a little from side to side. Maybe thinking of the leg as a little baby. Rocking your leg, rocking yourself, rocking that inner child back and forth, taking good care. And then we're going to lay the right leg down on the earth and stack the left shin right over. This is called stacking the logs because we're not sitting in a traditional cross-legged position, but we want the shins stacked one on top of the other here. And if you have a lot of space, like I do right now in between the left knee and the right foot, you can tuck a block in between here, or a pillow or blanket or towel or whatever you have handy. Or you might adjust the sit bones a little bit and see if you can't encourage the knee to come a little bit closer to the foot, closing that gap and getting even deeper into that left hip here. So wherever you are, with or without a support, supports are here to support us, to make our poses fit our bodies. We don't want to make the body fit the pose. We want the pose to fit the body. So do what you need to do to adjust the pose to be just this side of comfortable. We don't want it to be easy. We want to get a little bit of sensation here, but we definitely don't want it to be painful. So at this point, you might take your hands and maybe massage the foot a little bit. Maybe get into the toes, maybe squeeze the toes, pulling them out a little bit, maybe rolling the ball of the foot underneath the toes, maybe coming to massage the arch of the foot, get in the heel, or maybe you want a little massage in the calf or alongside the shin. One of our wonderful people on our class today just went running. So I don't know about you, but when I go running, my shins start talking to me. So you might want to get in there. That's a really hard area to stretch. So getting in alongside that shin with a little massage can be really yummy. And so now we're going to continue this journey. We did cow face pose, laying down last week. This time we're going to do it sitting up. So let's take this left leg all the way across the right leg and adjust the sit bones so that you're sitting as evenly as possible. Probably won't be able to come to total evenness, but maybe. But as close to evenly sitting through both sit bones as possible. And you can even pull the feet away from one another, or you can reach the fingertips out to the sides so that you can sit up nice and tall. And these are cow face legs because this is supposed to be the cow's mouth here, kind of smiling. I don't know. We'll see about that. So we'll add the cow face arms and then maybe you'll get the gist of that. So we'll inhale, bringing that left arm up to the sky. And then bend the left elbow and bring the palm behind the neck. Maybe take that right hand and encourage the left elbow closer to the temple so that you're getting a nice stretch in the left side body. And to go fully into cow pose, you could take the right hand and bring the back of the right hand behind you. The goal here in the full pose is to clasp the fingers behind the back. My fingers are nowhere near one another. I've got a good 8 or 10 inches, so don't feel bad if you can't clasp the fingers, but we're just going towards that pose without compromising the spines, where we can still sit up nice and tall. And this is the full cow face. So this is the cow's mouth, and these are supposed to be his ears. That's our cow face pose. I don't think I look much like a cow, but it's possible. So we're sitting up nice and tall. We're kind of like a pretzel here. Let's inhale those arms out nice and wide, and then exhale to draw the right arm across the heart, encouraging it inward with the left hand. Getting a nice little stretch across the back body. And then let's take that right arm, wherever you are, whether it's the forearm, the elbow, the tricep, to the top of the left thigh. And then we're gonna take that right hand around behind us to, or excuse me, left hand to the left hip. And we're gonna do a nice little twist, looking over the left shoulder, using that right arm anchored into the left thigh to help you get deeper into the twist, again, without causing any pain. Only to the edge of sensation, maybe to discomfort, but never to pain. But we do want to be okay with discomfort. We have a lot of discomfort in our lives. So being able to tolerate discomfort is really good for our minds and our bodies. One more inhale here, keeping that chin nice and tucked and lengthening through the spine. And then we'll exhale to release and do a little counter twist, bringing the fingertips over to the right and allowing the back to round and allowing the head to be heavy. Getting a little bit of a stretch here. Inhale here, and then we'll exhale to unwind everything, shaking it out, shaking out the legs, shaking out the arms, just letting it all go. And then we have to do everything we just did on the opposite side. So bring those hands behind you, bring the feet out wide just a moment, and take those windshield wipers from side to side. And then we will plant the right ankle on top of the left thigh, and then scooch, if that's a real word, the hands in closer to the hips. Maybe scooch the hips closer to the left foot, really drawing that right foot in towards the body. Staying here in stillness for just a moment before we go any deeper to allow the body to acclimate to this new position. And then maybe gently rocking the leg from side to side. Imagining that inner child that we're taking care of today. That one who sometimes does not get their needs met. And we cannot rely on other people to meet our needs. So we are meeting our own needs right now. Thank you very much. Just rocking back and forth. And then let's go ahead and bring that left leg down, stacking the logs here. Again, using whatever props would make this a little more doable for your hips, or making any adjustments in the sit bones to be able to bring that right leg closer to the left. Sitting up nice and tall here. And then maybe bringing some tender massage to the right foot, getting into the ball of the foot, getting into the toes. Again, we can't really rely on anybody to massage our feet. My husband says he massages my feet every night, but he picks them up, he goes squeeze, 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 and then he forgets they're even there. So sometimes you just got to do it yourself. So we are. So getting into the ankle, the heel, maybe up into the calf or along the shin. Just being curious, what's going on down here? We're so disconnected from our bodies. You might notice something that you had absolutely no awareness of, a tender spot or area that needs your attention. And so we're giving it that attention here today. And when you've found some nice massage here, let's go ahead and cross that right leg over the left, coming into our cow face pose. Again, adjusting those sit bones to try and be as evenly connected to the earth as possible. Maybe pulling on those feet in their opposite directions and sitting up nice and tall here. And again, if this is enough for you, stay here. You don't need to add the arms. But if you want to go ahead and continue that cow-faced pose or getting towards the cow-face pose, we can lift those right fingertips up towards the sky. And then bend the right elbow, bring the palm behind the neck. Maybe using that left hand to get a little deeper into the right side body, into the right tricep here. Again, without compromising the cervical spine, we don't want to compromise the neck here. So if the arms need to be wider, then let that be what it is. And if you want to go deeper towards the full pose, you can bring the back of the left hand to the small of the back. And you may find that you're a little closer, or your fingers are closer on this side, or maybe farther away than the first side. Our bodies are not completely symmetrical. But just visualize your little cow face here. Happy cows. Breathing here, getting nice and tall. And then we'll inhale those arms out to the side and exhale to draw the left arm in towards the heart. Getting a little deeper into that left shoulder here. And then we can go ahead and rest that left arm on top of the right thigh. And if you like, go into that twist, bringing the right hand back towards the right hip, looking back over that right shoulder, maybe using that left arm to press into the right thigh and get deeper into that twist. Being mindful of the spine, being mindful of the neck. Keeping yourself safe. Breathing length into the spine and depth or softness. Exhale in the twist. One more full inhale here. And then we'll exhale to take that counter twist, bringing the fingertips over to the left side, letting the back round, letting the head be heavy here. Just noticing what you feel. And then we'll go ahead and release everything. Shake out the legs, shake out the arms. And then we're gonna be really crazy and energetic here, and we're gonna come right back down to the back. Ha ha. No crazy energetic here. Holding on to those knees or the backs of the thighs. Really think about the low back here. Think about the base of the spine. Think about each and every vertebra that stacks along the spine, the low spine, the mid spine, the upper spine, the neck. And as you inhale length here, tuck that neck in, tuck that chin in, keeping the neck long. And as you exhale, mindfully lay one vertebra at a time down on the mat, maybe reaching those fingertips out. Slowly, 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 using the core to help slow you down. And then once you reach the mat, go ahead and inhale, stretching out as long as the body can go, getting the fingers as far away from the toes as you possibly can, maybe giving them a little wiggle and rotating the ankles and wrists in one direction and then the other. And then we're going to come into our final Shavasana here. Traditionally, Shavasana is with the heels at either corner of the base of the mat, just the legs kind of resting open and relaxed here. And then the arms open and relaxed, palms shining up towards the sky. You can press in the heels just enough to lift the hips so that you can really snuggle the low back down to the mat. And you can press into the arms just enough to lift the heart so that you can snuggle those shoulder blades in towards one another. And then again, tuck the chin, always keeping your neck safe. This is full Shavasana here. Take your arms and legs out as wide as feels comfortable for you. If we were having to practice in a studio and our mats were like 3 inches away from one another, you'd have to really be on your mat. But here, when we're working at home, we can take up space. We are allowed to be here. We are meant to be here. We have every right to take our place in this world. So take up space. And if full Shavasana is not comfortable for you, if it doesn't feel good in your back, you can come to that constructive rest pose like we started in, with the knees as wide as, or the feet as wide as the mat and the knees resting on one another. Or you could put your blocks or pillows underneath the knees here. You could bring your hands to the belly if that makes more comfort for you. Whatever feels good, and come back to that nice soft box breath that we started with. That nice circular, nourishing, restorative breath that you created for yourself, custom made today. And this is where we want to change our energy. So all of our feelings of self-love and self-acceptance and self-confidence and self-respect, those all need to come from within. But we can use our experiences out in the world to begin to tap into those feelings. So I want you to just think about something that you're grateful for. And it does not have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be in the room with you. It could be a cup of tea in the morning. It could be your favorite blanket. It could be standing on the beach, watching the ocean. Just one thing that you can think of that you're grateful for. And let that feeling of gratitude subtly shift your energy. Something you're really, truly grateful for. And then I invite you to think about something that you love. Maybe stay away from significant other relationships, parent-child relationships, anything complicated. I'm thinking more like a furry family member, or I don't know, a scaly family member. Maybe you've got a snake you really love. Or maybe it is the beach. Is your something that you love? Just something that you, maybe a baby, a newborn baby. Those are easy to love, right? Just something that you love. Let that feeling of love permeate your body and continue shifting your energy to more positive, nourishing, enlightening energy. And then maybe bring to mind something that makes you laugh. Maybe it is a private joke with a best friend. Maybe it is watching your brother fall down the stairs in a funny way. Maybe it's your favorite TV show or your favorite movie. Just something that always makes you laugh, brings a smile to your face. Maybe even physically allow the smile to come to your lips. Let all these feelings of gratitude and love and laughter permeate your whole body, just cycling through the energy within you. Continuing to notice the support of the mat beneath you, the feeling of your body connected to the earth. And then maybe think of something that just makes you go, wow. Something that brings you a sense of utter awe. Maybe watching Simone Biles nail her gymnastics routine. Maybe it's looking at the northern lights. Maybe it's all the stars in the sky. Something that just brings you to a sense of wonderment and childlike awe. Something that's just really, truly awesome. We overuse that word, I think, in the Western world, but something really, truly awesome. It just blows your mind. And let that permeate your being. And now with these wonderful feelings of gratitude and love and laughter and wonderment running all through you, bring your attention back to the breath and to the body. And then invite yourself to think of something that you want in your life, something you'd like to manifest. Something you want to change, something you want more of, or something you want to let go of. And this is where you use those affirmations when you've got all this wonderful positive energy flowing through you. Say to yourself, or maybe out loud, the thing that you want in your life. But don't say it like, I want to live the life of my dreams. Say it like, I am living the life of my dreams. Or maybe I am strong, balanced, and healthy, and I live an abundant life. Or maybe I let go of all judgment. Or maybe I have the job of my dreams. Whatever it is, let your affirmation be as if it already is. And then whenever you think of it, whenever it comes to mind, recreate these feelings with the power of your mind and the power of your own energy, all this creative positivity flowing throughout your body, and co-create that life that you want by telling yourself it is already done. Say your affirmation to yourself or out loud, as if it is already done. And see how that feels in your body, in your spirit. in your energy. We'll just stay here for 3 more full breaths, allowing those feelings and that positive energy and that affirmation to pulse throughout you. It is already done. And when you're ready, go ahead and wiggle those toes and wiggle those fingers. Maybe bring a little rotation to the ankles and the wrists in one direction and then the other. And then inhale, one more final good morning stretch, wiggling toes and fingers and stretching out long through each side of the body. And then bring the knees up towards the air and just windshield wiper them gently from side to side before rolling to whatever side serves you best. Keeping your eyes closed, resting your head on your arm. You may be wrapping the top arm around you and giving yourself a little hug here, going from corpse pose and Shavasana to this fetal position, ending something that needed to be ended and starting something new. And then on an inhale, go ahead and press yourself back up to a nice tall seat. Stretch those legs out in front of you. So we'll end with some balance symmetry here today in Dandasana, staff pose. Toes pointed up towards the sky, and we can bring those fingertips out to either side and really lift the heart, draw the shoulder blades down the back, tuck the chin. Take a full breath here, bringing back to your mind the positive energy that you created and the affirmation that you have created in this universe for yourself. And I know that's true because I've done it for myself. Took a while to actually get there, but keep practicing, and I know you'll get there too. Let's inhale, raising these arms alongside the ears and bringing the palms together. And then exhale, bringing the hands to the heart. Feeling all the gratitude for you all today, whether you're practicing live, whether you're watching this recorded. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for taking care of yourself. Thank you so much for spreading more positivity out in the world. The light within me honors, respects, and sees the light within you. Namaste.